Are the Niners really the worst team in the NFC West? We know they have the worst record in the NFC West. Are they the worst team in the NFC West? And second question, answer it as you after. Who is the best team in the NFC West in your estimation?
So for me, it's hard to, if we're talking about just if all the NFC West teams only played each other, I think it's a big matchup thing because I think the 49ers can beat the Rams for the most part. I mean, we'll see. I'll probably be proven wrong next week, but I think the 49ers match up really well against the Rams and can beat them, especially with a healthy roster almost every time. But I think the Seahawks and the Cardinals match up really well, especially with their running quarterbacks against this current Niner defense, and they would win that. But then I also think the Rams match up pretty well against both those teams. The Rams beat the Seahawks last week. So it's tough, but I think Arizona is the best team in the division, even though last night wasn't great. But I think Kyler Murray, with that shoulder problem, missed a couple open guys. If he had a little better of a day, if they ran the ball a little better, I think they would have won. And I think Arizona's the best team in the NFC West.
Are the Niners the worst?
I'd say it's a toss-up between them and the Rams. I'd like to see Mostert and Debo back before I make that assessment. But I'd say right now I'm leaning toward the Niners being the bottom just because of injuries.
Okay.
So is this being included with injuries, like the current roster with George Kittle off and Nick Bosa?
Yeah, off? like right now. Yeah.
Okay, if we were playing Madden and I turned off injuries, I'd probably say the 49ers are the best team in the NFC West. But this is real life. This isn't Madden. I cannot turn off injury. But yeah, being injured, they are the worst team in the NFC West. I think if any of these teams had their quarterback injured as well, like if you take Russell Wilson off the Seahawks, if you take Goff off the Rams and Murray off the Cardinals, they would be the worst team in the NFC West as well. Just looking at it from glass half full type perspective. And then the best team in the NFC West as it currently sits, I would probably I would go with a team that I trust more. And I would say I would trust Russell Wilson and that team, even though I cannot stand them. I would trust them a lot more than a Jared Goff, hoping that the scheme wins the game and then hoping that Kyler Murray and his defense can step up and win the game. I would trust Wilson more just based he has a huge resume. He's Super Bowl winning quarterback.
To me, this question is such a conundrum because, the Niners are the worst team in the NFC West. They have no one healthy. But then they match up really well with the Rams. And they might beat the Rams even shorthanded next week, which is interesting because you can make the argument that the Rams are the best team in this division. Like, they match up so well with the Seahawks and the Cardinals because the Rams have Jalen Ramsey. And Jalen Ramsey is like a young Richard Sherman with speed. He can actually match up with and shut down DeAndre Hopkins and DK Metcalf, which makes the Rams, makes them competitive against those teams, makes them better than those teams. At least they can beat those teams. I don't know if they're better against other teams, but the Rams are interesting. They might win this division, and the Niners might beat them this Sunday. So I don't know what to make of this division, really. The Niners, I think, can compete with all three of these teams. And next year, they might win this division next year if they just have some better luck.
Okay, Grant, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
This will decide it for you.
Mm-hmm.
If we get money involved. If I told you a team out of the NFC West, I'm predicting the future. Team out of the NFC West with the current standings and the current rosters as it sits are going to win the NFC and advancing to the Super Bowl. Which team would you put your $100 on at this moment?
I would have to look at the schedules. I don't even know who the Rams are playing the rest of the way. So I don't know. I have heard that the Seahawks have an easy schedule the rest of the way. They got all those NFC East teams. So maybe the Seahawks.
Let's say that the schedules are even. Take that part out of it. Even schedule.
I kind of like the Rams. They got the number two. They got the number 2 defense in the league. I think they're just a little bit more well-rounded than Seattle. Seattle to me is 4 players, and they're great. But that team has just so many weaknesses. I don't know what they're going to be from week to week. They were great against the Cardinals last night. That was terrific. That was really, really good. But the Cardinals to me are like a year away too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Everyone talks about injuries. Cardinals also losing Chandler Jones. I think that
big deal.
hurt them
That is true.
It's a big deal.
a lot, and I think that's their biggest knock is pass rush. They had to go get Marcus Golden, which I know Niner Nick is still mad the Niners didn't get Marcus Golden, but Chandler Jones is a big loss for them. I still think they're the best chance because I could see Kyler Murray, if that shoulder injury doesn't bother him, going on a run to end the season.
All I know is the Rams have to play the Cardinals twice. They still haven't played the Cardinals yet, and I think the Rams are going to win both of those games. I think the Rams match up extremely well with the Cardinals because, again, if you have an answer for DeAndre Hopkins, you can beat Arizona. If you don't, you're the 49ers.